You're still on the AM show, and it's now time for our next conversation, and it's about skin cancer. I'm sure you may have heard a little about it. There's a young lady who is campaigning to deal with an aspect of it which is related to skin bleaching, and she's joined me here this morning. Delasi Inin is her name, and she'll be telling us more about the work she's been doing and why it's important for Black people to love our skin and stop giving ourselves cancer. Hello, Delasi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
And I'm happy about what you're doing. So I'd like you to first off tell us how this whole initiative started. What ignited that desire in you to embark on this campaign?
Certainly. Well, it was two things. First of all, my initiative started back in 2016. And I was inspired after I was invited to a high school to do a career day. I'm a recording artist, so they invited me to talk about, some of the trials and tribulations and triumphs of being in music. And so, the kids were very enthralled and they were very, inspired. And afterwards, a few young ladies came up to me and said, we would love you to continue doing what you're doing and take it to the highest level possible, because we don't often see women that look just like us at that level. And, speaking to that fact, women like Beyonce and Rihanna, they're absolutely beautiful, but they don't represent all the diversity that Black beauty encompasses. And it seems as though the entertainment business in particular has a very narrow vision on what is marketable, what is beautiful, and what sells records. And that often doesn't include women that, look like me. And so these girls giving me that feedback really sparked something in me, like, wow, young girls are really dealing with a lot of pressure and a lot of feelings of inadequacy because they're not being represented. So a few months later, I came to Ghana for vacation, and I was invited to my uncle, the late Kofi Annan's house. And he pulled me aside and he said, your mom and dad tell me you're touring and you're doing all these wonderful things in music, whatever you need, let me help you. And I was like, well, actually, I do need your help, but it's not with music. He was one of the most prolific humanitarians that we've ever seen, and his work with the United Nations and outside of the United Nations has been so inspiring. He's left, a huge legacy behind. And so I asked him, Uncle, how do I harness just a small percentage of what you've been able to do in the world? I want to do more than sing and dance and make people happy. I want to make an impact. So he advised me to go home and think about what frustrated me, and then use that energy to work towards a solution. So I did just that. And the first thing I thought about was colorism and how frustrating that is as, an entertainer in this business to lose certain opportunities because, you don't fit some narrow standard. And that led me to the health implications. And that's when I landed on skin cancer, skin-related diseases, and skin bleaching. So that's kind of how it all began.
That's how it all began.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you cite the entertainment industry, because that is where a lot of people are socialized. In this digital world, people learn about the rest of the world because of what they see in terms of information flow, what is projected to be beautiful.
Yes.
And even in Bollywood, it's a big deal. And I'm sure a lot of people do not even know that they are Black Indians.
Yes.
And I remember reading an article on that and how frustrating it was for Black Indians to be represented in the movie industry in India.
Yes.
And how even people have to lighten their skin further to catch up or fit the standard, even men in India.
Absolutely.
So it's not just a woman's thing, it's just about people not feeling comfortable enough in their skin.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me where your work has taken you to, the kind of stories you've heard, and for you, what has been the most fulfilling thing so far?
Okay, that's a great question. This road has taken me many places. I try to focus on the youth in particular because they're the ones who are most vulnerable. They're the most impressionable, and they still have a chance, because they still have their youth and their health. So they still have a chance to turn around from going down that road. And so I've spoken at a lot of high schools, secondary schools, and universities. I think one of the biggest milestones for me was when Georgetown University, their African club, invited me to speak on this issue. And when I was younger, I applied for Georgetown University and they waitlisted me. So I never ended up going to that school. But years later, having them invite me to speak on my initiative is kind of like a full circle moment. You know, I felt really proud. And I've also spoken at the UN General Assembly in front of prime ministers and, you know, chief executives and things like that. So I think that was like a really huge milestone for me as well. And that was in 2018. What I plan on doing going forward is I've established an NGO, so now I'm just waiting for the paperwork to process, but Panela Foundation is the foundation that I'm working under, and I plan on doing a speaking tour around Ghana, ECOWAS, and then the continent, like some of the hotspots, South Africa, Uganda, Angola, and a few other places, and then hopefully one day globally, you know, because as you so rightly mentioned, this is a global issue. It doesn't just affect Africans, it doesn't just affect women, it affects women, men, children, on all corners of the world, honestly. And anywhere where there's indigenous people and Europeans have come and brought their colonization and imperialism, anywhere where that has happened, you see this bleaching trend happening.
And unfortunately, doctors are telling us now that some women have started bleaching their kids from that tender age. They don't want them to be seen and said, oh, you look dark now, you're fair. You know, they don't want that kind of stigma attached. So they start bleaching the kids too young. I mean, bleaching itself is a problem. How much more a little girl? So I'd just like for you to share with our audience today what the risks are in terms of bleaching and how it will affect their health.
Absolutely. Well, you know, one thing that people don't consider, because skin cancer has always been seen as a white man's disease, you know. So we that have melanin, and we've been blessed with all of this melanin, we tend to believe that we are protected from anything environmentally that can affect us with the sun. But the truth is, maybe 100 years ago that was true. Maybe even 50 years ago that was true. But today, because we've done so much damage to the Earth's ozone layer and we've depleted so much of it through air pollution, now we don't have as much natural protection from UV rays as we once did. So even though melanin naturally does protect your skin, which is why, you know, when you're a person of color, you could be in the sun for hours and not get skin burn and not get, you know, heat rash and all of these things that Caucasians have to grapple with in the sun. We don't have those problems. However, because of what we've done to Mother Nature, now we are at risk as well. And we honestly should all be wearing sun protectant, honestly. And we don't. You know, people of color, we don't do that because we think we're fine, but we're actually not. We're actually, especially those in the fishing communities, in the market communities, those roadside sellers that are outside for 9-10 hours a day under the sun, they are really at risk. And, you know, people are wondering, well, what can I do to protect myself? Surprisingly, there are some natural, you know, options, like shea butter has a natural protectant that can be used as SPF, as well as vitamin E oil, lanolin oil, frankincense oil, and titanium dioxide. So there's a few things that you can use that you could just buy from the marketplace or a natural food store that can help you be more proactive about protecting your skin. In terms of the actual bleach, the ingredients that are so harmful are the hydroquinone, mercury, and glutathione. And what happens when you use it often is you deplete the melanin from your skin, but you also deplete the strength of your natural skin cells, which allows for the UV and any other chemicals to enter your bloodstream. So once that enters your bloodstream, your organs try to process it out, but they don't know what it is because it's this, you know, foreign substance. So it starts to create buildup. And the buildup is what creates the cancer. So not only are you at risk for skin cancer, but you're at risk for cancer of the blood, kidney and liver cancers, and all kinds of diseases, lesions, and other things. And two statistics I want to name very quickly. 80% of skincare products sold in Africa contain bleaching agents. 80%. So you have to be so vigilant when you're going to the store and you see those words like brightening and, you know, they try
whitening,
to, right, they
toning.
they try to make it seem like, oh, this is fun. But you have to be very skeptical and look at those ingredients because a lot of them are harmful, and try to stay away from, you know, the heavy chemical-based skincare. Try to use natural oils, natural butters and creams, and, you know, your body will thank you for it. Another statistic too is that about 50% of the global skincare industry uses bleaching agents, 50%. So it's 80 in Africa, but 50 in the world, which is still so much, you know? So it's concerning.
There are just a few things you said that strike me. The first has to do with how we need to be vigilant. And I think that it's something that we don't do a lot here. Even when it comes to food, people don't even check allergic information, calories. You know, we just pick and go. But I think that, Delasi just said, we need to be more vigilant. Be careful what you are applying to your skin. And I remember having a conversation with a doctor, and he said, you know, the misconception that I'm not ingesting it and so it's fine is such a terrible one, because your skin is the largest organ you have.
Yes.
And anything you put on there seeps into the entire body, and just like you shared, your body absorbs it. Yes. So don't let anyone deceive you that, oh, is this just topical? It's nothing really. Yeah. It will find its way there. And Delasi, I am so happy with what you're doing and the natural options that you gave, because you see, sometimes you're looking for solutions all over the place, but they're right here with you. Yes. And so I'm happy you spoke about shea butter, which is readily available here. I mean, there's so much of it. Yes. So much of it that is even being exported, and it appears that the people outside appreciate what we have, the gold we have here, more than those of us here.
Ironically, yes.
I'm really happy with what you're doing.
Thank you.
So, in terms of your music, because you just spoke about that, music is a huge tool. I don't know what kind of music you do, though. You do classical music?
Well, I did, actually. I trained classically in piano, but I'm actually a rapper and a singer.
Oh, okay, that's nice. So are we going to have a song? Because you see, like some of these things where people... campaign. Ghana, we like to do music about everything. Yes. I don't know if you're conceptualizing something like that. Music that talks about your skin, about cherishing the skin. And
absolutely.
I'm just seeing how you can pull on that talent and your humanitarianism as well to push something out there which will be played a lot, so that, it's in the faces of people that, this and this is what you're going to get if you keep bleaching your skin or keep lightening it.
Absolutely. I've done a few records in the past. Like I have one in particular called Tar Baby that directly addresses this issue.
Oh, great.
Very directly. But I think I would love to do something more like a jingle, like a commercial or PSA that can be played on TV that, the kids could kind of connect with. And I think that's a wonderful idea. So that's certainly something I would love to work on in the future.
I'd love to hear you rap, though.
Okay. All right. Like right now?
Are you up for it?
Okay, all right. Let me think. Okay. The game is dirty, dirty, dirty. Flirted death before 30. Got a lot to say, I'm wordy. Don't let the sexiness fool you, I'm nerdy. Walking rooms with a candle lit. Spirit bright, they can handle it. Well, your man, I can handle him. I spit all crazy, I'm emptying out the clip. Boom, 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 boom. Mo Vim for the room. Grammy coming soon. I'm out with the gang and a couple of goons. They say the girl is too spicy. All the ballers call her wifey. She be so cool like the night breeze. She be like kryptonite. You be say antifreeze. Hey. You gonna stop it right there.
Thank you so much, Delasi. This is exciting, and I'm happy to see you flaunt your dark skin.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Dark skin girls are beautiful.
Amen.
This is, I think that I was telling someone the last time, and I mean no offense to light-skinned people like myself. In Ghana, this is light-skinned, but outside I'm not so light though. I told someone, anybody can buy this, but you can buy that.
Wow, powerful.
That is precious.
Thank you.
And I'm happy you're doing this. Let me know whichever way we can support. How do we support you? People watching who want to help the campaign, who say, I like this girl's energy, I like her initiative, I want to support her. How do they do that?
Absolutely. Well, you can find me online. I have my official website is delasi.com. So that's DELLASIE.com. And you can just shoot me an email, let me know in what capacity you would like to get involved. You can be a volunteer, you could give donations to the NGO, or if you have a venue, you want to do an event with me, or just anything that you can think of. If you want to contribute in any way, I welcome any and all assistance.
Right.
Because it's hard doing it alone,
I know.
So
I know. And that's why I'm glad you're here today.
Yes.
So, if you run a school, even churches, whatever it is, Delasi is up to speaking,
Sure.
sharing the knowledge that she has gathered on skin cancer, and also its effect on your health. That's the most important thing you need to know. That you're not just doing it casually. There's something you're doing to your body, and very soon you begin to see the effects of that. Delasi, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to do this again with you, and hopefully we'll be out and about. Touring Ghana?
Yes, absolutely.
You're home now?
I'm home now.
Okay, not going back to New York?
No, never.
Okay. Yay. We are pulling all of them back. This is the era of return. We've gone beyond the year. This is the era of return, and Delasi is doing some great work here. So listen, guys, there's no need sacrificing your health to look fair, light skin, tone, whatever you want to call it. Just be confident in your skin.
Amen.
Be confident in what you've been given. And it's beautiful. Don't let anybody kid you. Tell your young girls, your daughters, how beautiful they look. When you give them that confidence, nobody will take it away from them. Amen. This morning, I've been talking to Delasi Inin, who's been doing some great work there. She's speaking to young girls, not only in Ghana, but in the US as well, meeting girls with black, beautiful skin like hers and encouraging them to keep it and rock it as it is. Like I said, we'll be touching base with her much later and let you know how far her work in Ghana goes. Meanwhile, I need to let you know that the Register of Companies is inviting all registered companies and professional bodies, rather, in Ghana to an important meeting to discuss new developments, and that is relating to the registration and regulation of their professional bodies as per the Professional Bodies Act 1973, NCRD 143. This will be happening on the 7th of June 2023 at 2 p.m. At Nathan Kwao Auditorium, Clocksack Building, Ministries Enclave in Accra. All registered professional bodies are entreated to attend this important meeting in the interest of their operations and supervision. All professional bodies are to present 2 representatives each, preferably the president and secretary, for the meeting. Please note that the ORC will presume any professional bodies in attendance or not in attendance as having ceased operations. And so this is just by way of information for you. Do stay here on the AM show. We'll be back with more.